Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Swing and a miss. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional.
Fans being out there making this a great impact.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
A lot to cover today, including more updates on Bryce Betcher on the award front. We've got some news around Oregon football, women's basketball. We're also going to get to know one of our OSN broadcast intern extraordinaires. New era with a lot of broadcasts on the Big Ten Plus platform. We've talked about it a bit. Our Quack video crew here in the athletic department, and then to go further, our KWVA brethren from the student radio station. We're going to get to know this week Austin Oda, the sports director, and Saul Galvan, the assistant sports director. Saul will be our featured guest on the show today. They are our OSN broadcast intern extraordinaires. They are often directing the show, as Shyla is today. We have a tremendous intern crew that makes all of this go, and we're going to celebrate a couple of them that you've heard call a lot of the broadcasts that have originated from the University of Oregon campus this year and are with our new conference partner. So we'll also talk with Matt Ulmer, and we've got a great update on Keyshawn Bartholomew, just a great piece of storytelling. Shout out to the video crew that put it together. And it was a lot of fun talking with Keyshawn Bartholomew even post-game when the Ducks were able to beat Portland. And over the last couple weeks, Oregon now getting ready to take on an Oregon State team on the road. They, similar to the Ducks, have had some growing pains but have won some games. Anytime you go on the road to Corvallis, there's just something about that matchup. It is the most contested rivalry in men's basketball history in the NCAA. And then to take that even one further step, I will never forget when Terry Johns said to me once that there is no better feeling than walking out of Gill Coliseum with a win. Terry said this to me one time, and I don't even remember the context of it. Like, I don't remember, like, did the men's team win? Like, did the Ducks win when I was calling a game for the first time? Or was it, I don't know. But Terry, just with a smile on his face, he just said to me, it's always good to beat the Beavs, but there's just nothing like walking out of Gill Coliseum with a win. And I just always think about that. I always think about it every time we have a broadcast up at Gill Coliseum, and I just always think about it. Also, if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, a significant update from the Big Ten Conference, and this is actually just being sent out if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour today. The University of Oregon has officially secured a berth in the 2024 Discover Big Ten Football Championship game. The 14th annual title game we played on Saturday, December 7th at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis will feature the top two teams in the standings for the first time. They used to be divisions. Now that's not the way the Big Ten's doing it. The contest will be broadcast on CBS. Kickoff is set for 5 o'clock Pacific time. So here's what happened. Following a comprehensive, I'm literally reading this here as we're getting it. Following a comprehensive evaluation of all possible scenarios over the final 2 weeks of regular season play across the conference's 18 teams, there are no conditions whereby the Ducks will not finish number 1 or number 2. A list of all the scenarios available on the Big Ten website. So over the weekend, I believe that there was still a scenario, or there were still thoughts that there were a scenario where the Ducks could be in a tiebreaker with a bunch of one-loss teams. If you're live with us on Tuesday here in the 1 o'clock hour, the conference has officially announced that the Ducks are Big Ten football championship game bound. How about that? So there you go. Saturday, December 7th at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. We will have a 3 o'clock pregame show for you that Saturday. Oregon taking on, we don't know yet, in the Big Ten championship game. Of course, the Ducks are on a bye this week, and then they will have let me back up. The Ducks are in the midst of a work week this week, and Oregon will then play Washington at a kickoff time that is yet to be announced. We'll find out on Sunday when the Ducks will play Washington and where the game will be broadcast on TV. We will have a pregame show starting 2 hours before that game kicks off. Oregon is currently ranked number 1 in the college football playoff rankings, and the Ducks are sitting at a perfect 11-0 record before that game against Washington on November 30th. A limited number of public tickets do remain. They can be purchased through Ticketmaster, ticketmaster.com. Both participating teams receive a ticket allotment that will be distributed through the institutions. There you go. The Big Ten championship game, it's official. I know the conference had said over the weekend that there was maybe still a scenario where you could have a tiebreaker and the Ducks had not clinched a berth. Now here we are on Tuesday confirming University of Oregon has secured a berth in the 2024 Big Ten football championship game. 14th annual title game played on Saturday, December 7th at Lucas Oil Stadium. So there you go. How about that? That's a good way to get things going on your Tuesday. Big Ten announcing that Oregon football clinched a spot. Love to see it. Ducks are Big Ten championship game bound. Got to take care of business, though. A work week, a chance to get better. Again, no other power team had to play 8 straight conference games. Ducks had long periods of time, a long period of time between their 2 bye weeks. It's just the way the schedule broke. It happens. Chance to maybe get a little healthier. We're going to hear from Coach Lanning, I'm sure, coming up later on this week. The Ducks getting ready for the Huskies, who are also, by the way, coming off a bye. That's another thing. Oregon consistently was playing teams coming off a bye themselves. Ducks took care of business. Ducks took care of business. Bryce Betcher. He is a Burlsworth Trophy finalist, announced today. One of 3 finalists for the Burlsworth Trophy, Bryce Betcher. It's awarded annually to the nation's most outstanding football player who began his career as a walk-on. Finalists will be honored, and the winner of the Burlsworth Trophy will be announced December 9th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Betcher is one of 3 finalists. James Carpenter from Indiana and Shane Dolach from Buffalo are the other finalists up for the honor. He's the first player in Oregon history to be named a Burlsworth Trophy finalist. A dual sport standout in football and baseball, Betcher joined the football team in 2022, has worked his way into a starting linebacker role for this top-ranked team as a senior. Betcher still leads the team, 69 total tackles through 11 games, 5 tackles for loss, a sack, and an interception. Was named the Burlsworth Trophy Walk-On of the Week after Oregon's 49-14 win at Oregon State. There's nothing like beating the Beavers. The Eugene native finished the game with a career-high 11 total tackles, the most by a Duck this season. He also was a 13th round pick by the Houston Astros in the 2024 MLB draft. He hit 276, a career-high 14 home runs, and 48 RBI for the Duck baseball team as a senior. Also became the 5th player in program history to be named a Gold Glove team member. Betcher and the number 1 Ducks on a bye this week. Washington on Saturday at Autzen Stadium. And now we know that Bryce Betcher and the Ducks will for sure be playing in that Big Ten championship game. The conference, if you're live with us now, announcing that here today, confirming that the Ducks have clinched a spot. I don't know the selection process for that Burlsworth Trophy, but remove the baseball aspect of Bryce Betcher's career for a moment. He's leading the number 1 team in the country in tackles. I think he's going to win the thing. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about the 2 other finalists, but my vote goes to Bryce Betcher. My vote goes to Bryce Betcher. Now, because, look, you look at just football, and his statistics are impressive for a defense that is, again, the number 1 team in the country. Statistically, as a team, the Ducks are great defensively. Then you add in the fact that this guy has been drafted to play professional baseball after he hit 14 home runs last year, was a Gold Glove team member. I think he's got a good chance to win the thing. And what a cool story that would be for a guy who worked his way into a starting role at linebacker, worked his way into a starting role in the outfield for the Ducks, was a spot starter last year, or 2 years ago, and then this last spring was a consistent everyday player. I mean, you talk about a guy who exemplifies talent development in both football and baseball. He is a shining example of that for all the right reasons. And then, just on a personal level, he's, one, a fabulous human being. And then, two, he's an Oregonian. He's a Eugene native. What else can you ask for in just a great story? And Bryce deserves all of the accolades and all the love that he's getting. Shout out Bryce Betcher. He is a Burlsworth Trophy finalist, and he and the Ducks have officially, the conference announcing today, clinched a spot in the Big Ten championship game. Awesome. All right, timeout. When we come back, talking with Kelly Graves, because the Ducks got another win in women's basketball last night. Talk about some of the stats, give you some post-game conversations. Good day to be a Duck here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now, so good to see you real.
Women's basketball picking up another win last night, a 70-54 win over Grand Canyon. Not the best offensive night, at least by the numbers, but the Ducks still convincingly able to pull away over the course of the contest, and they jumped out to an early lead, a 22-10 start in the first quarter. I think that Kelly Graves, and you'll hear from him a little bit later on, would tell you that the third quarter and the fourth quarter maybe not so good, but the first half, great for the Ducks. Peyton Scott scored 17 points. Ducks with another victory, and it's a big Power 4 conference meeting. I still got to get used to 4 over 5. It's a big Power 4 conference meeting with Auburn tomorrow. Get your tickets. Matthew Knight Arena. Hope to have that place rocking when Auburn is in town, facing Oregon women's basketball at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Chris Clayton and Bev Smith will have the call. 5:30 pregame show here on the Oregon Sports Network tomorrow. But after a win last night, a pretty darn happy, I think. Kelly Graves postgame.
Excited about the win. I don't think we were great tonight. We certainly didn't shoot the ball well, and just I'm looking at some of the areas like second chance points. I mean, we get 16 offensive rebounds and only 9 second chance points. They get 10 rebounds, 16. I mean, we just didn't shoot the ball. We didn't finish that well. We didn't shoot it great. Turnovers after the first couple minutes, I thought we were fine. But I got to give Grand Canyon a lot of credit, man. They played really hard, and that's a good team. They're going to win that WAC. They're going to be an NCAA tournament team, and they deserve to be at some point. And I'm pleased with the win. But, we got to do things a little bit tighter, a little bit better. But I'm proud of the hard work. I thought we played hard tonight. I think a lot of it just came down to some poor shooting. Yeah. Go.
Really strong on the defensive end once again.
Yeah.
I think holding them to 25% shooting from three, less than 40% from the field. What was working?
Yeah. Well, I thought in the first half we were pretty good defensively. I thought second half we weren't quite as intense, right, and on point in the second half. That's why. And number 12 is a heck of a shooter, and she threw a couple from deep. They're easy to go in when there's no pressure. And at that point, there wasn't much pressure. But number 23, Trinity, is one heck of a player. And when she was on the floor, they were tough to stop. She kept getting to the rim. So when you talk about our good defense, okay, we held them to 54 points, but at the same time, they had 32 points in the paint. We had 22. That can't happen. They were just layup. So we've got to do a better job protecting the basket, keeping our kid in front of us. Because against Auburn on Wednesday night, they're going to have on the floor 5 number 23s. And so we've just got to do a better job there.
I think you're still holding teams to 25% shooting from three for the most part. Have you been happy with how you guys have defended the three up until the second half tonight?
Yeah, defensively, I think we've been pretty good. Pretty solid. We make things difficult on people. But and we did that in the first half and built a nice lead. And then I think we just kind of lost a little bit of that same enthusiasm and let them get back in the game. These are the kind of games that I don't like as a coach. I was never worried about losing the game at any point. But, you just kind of trade baskets, and it's not that clean. And then they hit a couple, and it's just, that part was tough.
Another double-double from Amina. What did you like from her tonight?
With great board work. Yeah, great board work. I thought Mina played really, really well. She made her free throws, which was awesome. I'm really proud of her. Yeah, she looked like she wanted the ball inside. I think we've got to make more of a concerted effort to get the ball inside. We're just doing a lot of stuff out on the perimeter, and we've got to get downhill. We got to get it inside. Part of that's on me to design something a little bit better. Part of it's on them. They got to want it. Part of it's on our guards. They've got to find them in there. But, yeah, I'm happy to see her have a really good game like that.
Do you think that change in offense will come from more just putting it on the ground or more just passing it around until you get it inside?
Well, both, right? Both.
It goes scoreless, 0 for 9 from the field. What did you like about her ability to impact the game with her defense, with her rebounding and playmaking?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure she's probably ever had a scoreless game. Since she's been in college, she's been such an elite scorer. She's right at about 2,000 points. But, yeah, you're right. She got, 11 boards tonight, 4 assists. She had a good floor game. But, yeah, didn't look the same offensively.
What about Peyton? Sort of a get-right game from three for her. It started really hot there in the first quarter and team high 17 today.
Yeah, Peyton played well. She usually does. Yeah, she's just a pretty solid player. And we needed them all tonight from her. So, yeah.
Update on either a Tute or Wagner. Saw them both on the bench, but unable to play.
Yeah, just injuries. I think they're all probably out for Wednesday. We're hoping maybe we get one or two of them back by our Hawaii trip next week, but I'm not sure, quite frankly. Yeah.
Led the bench unit tonight in minutes, and this is their third straight game with multiple threes off the bench. What has her shooting meant to this team so far in the season?
Yeah, well, Nani's really been a huge lift, and when you have what did we get off the bench tonight? 28 points. We had 42 the other night. when you have that kind of production off the bench, you're going to be in good shape. So on a night when maybe Deja doesn't shoot it that well, you got to have somebody pick it up, and Nani did that. And she's been doing it. She's been doing it in practice. And, unfortunately, her husband's team lost to the Bills yesterday, so they're no longer unbeaten. But she made up for it with a good game tonight.
You had a 20-point scoring streak in the first. You had 2 to end the second and third quarters that were getting close to 10 as well. What did you see there? What was going into those?
Well, usually we just executed, and made a couple of shots. I mean, when we kind of get it rolling, we're pretty good. We got a lot of different weapons, and we had a nice run there. I'll have to figure out who was on the floor at that time and see why we did it, and maybe we can duplicate it. All right, you guys, thank you. See you on Wednesday. That's a big game. Auburn, the Bo Nix game. Yeah.
I loved that Coach Graves just ending the press conference. Yeah, it is the Bo Nix Bowl, I guess, right? Oregon, Auburn, 6 o'clock on Wednesday for women's basketball. That is a big game. I appreciate Coach Graves saying that. Hope to see everybody at Matthew Knight Arena. Continuing, though, reviewing last night, a 70-54 win. Peyton Scott and Amina Muhammad also met with the media postgame as the Ducks continue to find this early season success. A lot of confidence, I think, for this group. Peyton Scott and Amina Muhammad after the win yesterday.
Peyton, hot start for you there in the first quarter. I think you were shooting 3 for 9 on threes and hit those 2 in the first quarter. Did that feel good?
Yeah, that felt great. That felt really good. Just to get some in rhythm shots to start the game always feels good. And then, kind of jumpstart. I feel like it jump-started other people to get hot and get some shots down, feeling good.
Yeah, for both you guys, you're holding teams to 25% shooting from 3. I think less than 40% from the field. What's been so effective on defense? I know, Kelly said there were some lapses in the second half, but for the most part this year, you've been stifling teams.
Yeah. I think just trying to stay as disciplined as we can, making things hard, pressuring. I think a lot of pressure is going to help us through that. But tonight, I know number 12 got off, 7 threes and made 3, so still not good enough. But, just trying to make as much chaos as we can. Just, make it hard, tough shots. That's what we're seeking.
Is there anyone on this team that maybe has emphasized that defensive intensity, or is it just kind of team-wide an emphasis?
I think so. Mm-hmm. Girl, if you got something to say it. Oh, man. I think overall it's just pretty much, like team top down, just trying to live that out. We got a good mix of veterans and underclassmen on this team that are willing to step up and just live out the standard that we want to set for our defense. And like I said, each game we're just trying to get better. And we go back and watch the film and want to get even better. But there's still things that we need to work on. But, yeah, it's pretty much 1 through 15, just holding each other accountable.
I mean, and what kind of pride do you take in being able to, grab 10 boards, draw 4 fouls, just do all the dirty work for the team?
I take a lot of pride in that because, not a lot of people are willing to do things like that. So, somebody got to do it. Yeah.
What maybe Peyton, the struggles there, I think, to start the third quarter, you eventually hit that 3, I think, with 6 minutes left. But what was kind of tough on offense tonight during stretches?
Yeah, I think we just got stagnant. I think sometimes we overthink the game, we overthink the defense, and we don't realize how good we are, off the dribble or pinning and kicking and how many threats we do have on the court because, the tough thing about us is you're always going to have to guard 1 through 5, and we take a lot of pride in that. So I think we just got stagnant, and they started making shots, so we weren't able to get out in transition, which is a good part of our game. So, yeah, just, moving more, cutting more, just being more active. I think we kind of lost that in the third.
Amina, working with Alexis down low or just at the forward spots, how have you guys kind of developed rapport there over the 5 games you played so far?
Develop what?
Just comfort with each other.
Why are you laughing? I don't know. I think we just try to get it to each other like in the high-low as much as we can, try to work off of each other like on a tandem, like one screen, one post, things like that.
Amina Mohammed and Peyton Scott meeting with the media there as we continue reviewing Oregon women's basketball. Now getting ready for that 6 o'clock tip-off. The Ducks taking on Auburn tomorrow in what figures to be a big one. Still to come, Matt Ulmer, Oregon volleyball head coach, and we're going to get to know one of our OSN broadcast intern extraordinaires next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company. Bloomington, Illinois.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We're going to take you behind the curtain a little bit. Earlier today, sat down with our OSN broadcast intern extraordinaire, Saul Galvan. Today is a special day where we bring the person from the director's chair. Our OSN broadcast intern extraordinaire, Saul Galvan, is here. He's sitting in the what we call comfy chair. Some people would call it the hot seat. Does it feel comfortable or hot or both today?
It feels a little bit of both. A lot more comfortable, though, I got to say. This is a much more preferable chair for me.
That's good. That's good. Okay, well, you've been waiting for this. We have a tradition. 2-minute life story. How'd you get here? Go.
2-minute life story. I grew up in Berwyn, Illinois. It's a west side suburb of Chicago. Grew up there my entire life. Went to middle school and high school there. Actually went to high school at 2 towns over, a place called Nazareth Academy. And when I got to high school, I was really in love with sports. I played baseball and golf, same with basketball my whole life, and I thought I was going to be a Division I athlete. Realized after I hit 120 my freshman year, I was not going to be a Division I athlete. So I tried finding different ways that I can be involved with sports, and originally I thought I was going to be an athletic trainer, but then I ended up joining our broadcast team, and I went to my, then at the time director, and I said, hey, I would love to be on a call, maybe get a taste of it. Immediately got hooked on it as soon as I did my first football game. So I did all that throughout high school, called basketball, softball, football games, and then when it came time for college, I was really struggling to find out where I was going to go. I wanted to kind of venture out from Chicago and go somewhere a little bit far. My brother went to school in North Carolina, so I wanted to go somewhere on the West Coast, and I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to the University of Oregon, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had heard of Oregon, but I had never, I didn't know much about it, but I'm like, you know what? I've taken risk up to this point. Let me try it. So I came here, fell in love with it right away. And I loved it ever since. It's an amazing place. I have gotten so many opportunities to do what I love here. The people are amazing. The environment, everything's just unbelievable. So I'm entirely happy with where I've ended up. I'm a junior right now, journalism student at the SJC. I'm one of the assistant sports directors for KWVA, and then also I'm an intern here at OSN.
Minute 35.56. Hey, but give yourself another 10 years of life.
Yeah. It's tough, honestly.
It is tough.
I give a lot of credit to Jackson Selstad and Mike Parker. Like, they nailed it.
Yeah, Jackson a minute 58, and then Mike did 2:01.42. Yeah, really well done. But Mike's got the broadcaster clock, Like
I haven't fully developed it yet.
You've got a good internal chronometer, though.
Yeah.
I bet, right? And then Jackson's got the shot clock. It's part of it. It's part of it. So I did not know that you were going to maybe be an athletic trainer.
Yeah.
And now broadcaster.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was really into science coming out of middle school. I thought that I was really good at it. And then I took my chemistry class, and I think I got a B-, and I was like, you know what, this is not quite for me. I was still very interested in it, but I was just like, you know what, let me try to get, let me try to do sports in a different route. And broadcasting, cool. I'd watch up growing, a lot of Chicago games and just hearing, Len Casper and, voice of the Cubs. Like, it was just that was something that kind of always appealed to me. I didn't think I was going to do it, but then when I got to high school, I found out that my high school fortunately had a broadcast team, so I kind of said I was interested, and they put me on a game right away, and immediately I just fell in love with it.
What was the high school mascot?
A Roadrunner.
So you were the voice of the Roadrunners.
Voice of the Roadrunners, yeah. All my schools that I went to growing up were birds. Irving Eagles, Falcons for middle school, Roadrunners, and now it's the Ducks.
Well, obviously the Ducks are the best.
Yeah, Ducks are the best, easily, yeah. But
Obviously.
that was pretty ironic that I realized that when I got to college. I was like, wait, all my mascots have been ducks. Birds, excuse me.
You're either a tiger, a tiger, a bulldog, or some kind of bird. Those are pretty much the sport mascots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. Saul Galvan with us. So you've heard this voice on KWVA also now this year as part of the partnership with the Big Ten. You've done how many Big Ten Plus streams now?
At least 6, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's been fun this year.
It's been fun, honestly, and we've the partnership's been great. We signed on with Quack Video this year to help out with their Big Ten Plus streams, and the move to the Big Ten, it was a little bit weird. If you would have told me when I came here that Oregon was going to be part of the Big Ten, I would have told you were crazy. But it was cool. It was kind of a full circle moment for me because now the school that I go to are playing teams that I grew up watching, like Northwestern and Illinois. So just getting to call these matchups and seeing not just football but also basketball and volleyball, it's been pretty cool. And I've had a lot of fun doing these games. Honestly, it's the transition from radio to TV.
Yep.
It's night and day. Like people will tell you otherwise, but it's really difficult.
No, it's what I've said to broadcasters before. Like, one of the most difficult skill sets is to be able to do both and do it like in the same week, right?
Yeah.
Like the guys that do national radio for Westwood One and then they're doing a TV broadcast over the weekend. It's a tough deal. How is it different? Take fans behind the curtain. What's different for you in your process and your style?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing obviously with radio is that you can't see anything. It's like leading a blind man, like we always say. Phrase to steal from you, Joey, but it's like leading the blind man. You're trying to paint a picture. You're trying to like for anyone who is listening to you, you want them to be able to close your eyes and picture exactly what's going on. And it's a little bit hard to do because obviously you have to describe a lot of little things on the field. But to me, it's actually a little bit easier because then I don't have to talk about other stuff. I can just focus on the game. With TV, however, you can see what's going on. So it's more about contextualizing everything and giving, stats and giving storylines and that kind of stuff. So I think that's really the main difference. I love doing radio, but I've gotten, used to doing TV, and it's definitely become more of a norm for me.
Yeah, it's more of a conversation on TV is how I've always felt. And it's funny. So like, again, behind the curtain a little bit, Saul is in my play-by-play class in the School of Journalism and Communication here at the U of O. And then we've talked over the years about this, like, I'm going to even steal another phrase from Knight Ureski. Shout out former OSN broadcast intern extraordinaire Knight Ureski, now working for our affiliate group down in Roseburg, radio, doing play-by-play down there. Knight's really the one that coined the phrase, like, you have to lead a blind man. So I'm going to give credit to Knight there. And one of the things that I remember talking to him about, actually, is going back and forth between radio and TV. And it's just such a conversation point. I've described it before that you want to be in TV, you want it to be that like you're both sitting on the couch with the viewer and you're just having a conversation telling them about what's going on. Whereas for radio, it's, you're painting a picture with your words.
Yeah, and again, it's really difficult to try to go back and forth between the two, but, you just kind of have to put yourself in a different mindset. Like, okay, radio, I got to say everything that's going on the court. TV, lay back a little bit and, have kind of that conversation like you were mentioning with whoever's my color and sideline that day.
Saul Galvan, OSN broadcast intern extraordinaire, also working with KWVA. You'll hear the voice the next, year and a half on the Big Ten Plus streams, also on KWVA if you tune in to any of the sports that you all call. What's the end game? What do you want to do with your life?
It's a good question, Joey. I'm a junior. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. No, I mean, I love what I do. I love calling games. I love being around teams. This is an amazing, area to go into. Like, I really, growing up, I didn't want a traditional job. I wanted something where I can, where my schedule changes every day. I can be doing something different every day, and, really be passionate about what I do. And this is something that I'm really passionate about. I love going to these games. I love the prep work. A lot of people are like, oh, you have to do so much prep. I'm like, the prep is what I love doing. I love researching storylines, that I can talk about and just giving, players, their time, because that's really what makes sports amazing is the stories behind it. Sure, the game is nice and everything, but a lot of times, a lot of people care more about what happens off the court and, the way players got to where they are right now. So that's really what I love as a broadcaster is being able to tell that story. So, as far as, the exact plan, not entirely sure, but I do want to be, an announcer, maybe even a sportscaster too for local news, just anything where I can be able to tell, stories going forward.
Yeah, it's the human element. A lot of people are interested in sports because it brings us all together, but the human element is pretty special. Okay, now talking about a little bit of football, if we could.
Yeah.
So again, behind the broadcast curtain, if you could. So the KWVA group is doing all kinds of hometown calls akin to the Oregon Sports Network, and then the neutral call, if you will, on Big Ten Plus. A great opportunity and training ground. Now I'm going to ask you to put your student hat on and just be the OSN broadcast intern extraordinaire. Okay, Saul wears multiple hats, all right? How fun is it to be at a university right now that is the only one left that's undefeated in football, men's basketball, and women's basketball as of this recording?
It's unbelievable, honestly. And like I was mentioning before, like I grew up watching teams like Northwestern and Illinois who, I mean, they were good. They weren't great. They weren't, in the top 10 usually. So I never really grew up with that, that really good school that was, good at like a lot of sports. Mm-hmm. So coming here to Oregon, I mean, that was a change, and I was excited for it. Like I bought into the environment right away, especially, my first year was Bo Nix's first year, and, the Ducks had a really good year. Dan Lanning was still in, in his younger coaching days, and now the fact that they're undefeated, basketball as well, like it's so fun to go to these games. The fans are riled up. They're buying into the hype too. And, it's just different here in Oregon. Like that's what I've realized. It's not like any other school. It's just different here. The fans, they love these teams with all their heart. There's so many passionate fans that we get to talk to, not just for football, but with softball, with baseball. Mm-hmm. They really, really love this Oregon team, and that's exactly what, I share their passion too whenever I don't have to play the neutral broadcaster.
Right. Saul Galvan, thanks for being here, buddy. So those of you who ever watch the show on a Friday, you'll notice that Saul is one of our interns that are always present on Fridays when John Sargent comes in with the food. I'm shocked that we have a great turnout on Fridays. Are you?
No. It's all because of Sarge, yeah. I come in strictly for Sargent. Yeah.
I get it.
He's we only have one more home game. I'm hoping that he comes in next week because otherwise I might not.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Word on the street is that Sarge will be here this Friday.
Oh, then I will be here this Friday.
Yeah, word on the street is Sarge will make an appearance this Friday because we've got the holiday and it's a shortened week. And, yeah, I think you might want to be here this Friday.
Oh, I'll be here, 100%.
How are you doing in the production crew picks?
I'm good. You know what? I didn't have that good of a week. Ooh. I took Nebraska and I took UCLA.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what my other picks were. I know I didn't have a great week. I think I went 3-2 maybe, or 3-3.
Yeah. The crew that's here every Friday has been putting in some picks, though I think Austin might have given up.
Yeah, Austin is comeback is just not even feasible at this point.
Yeah, got it. Saul Galvan, hey, thanks for being here.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Really glad that we could let fans get to know you a little bit. One of the great voices that you hear on the Big Ten Plus calls and does a lot of work behind the scenes to bring these broadcasts to life. So thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome stuff with the OSN broadcast intern extraordinaire, Saul Galvan. Great to get to know him. When we come back, Matt Ulmer, Oregon Volleyball head coach, getting ready for some critical games down the stretch on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle.
Or forget extra diapers.
You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. Better than I've been to myself.
Back at the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Matt Ulmer.
Hello.
The Oregon Volleyball head coach.
Joey Mack.
What's your middle name?
You know this.
No, I don't.
Matthew
Stafford.
How'd you know?
I honestly don't remember. I'm
Matthew
sorry.
David.
David.
Yeah.
Matthew David Ulmer is here in the Country Financial
That really
Studio.
only happens to me when I'm in trouble, though.
Is that true?
What did I do?
Did you ever? Yeah. Did you ever get like full name growing
Matthew David. I feel like I'd get Matthew David.
Did you? Yeah.
Not very. I was pretty good.
I feel like you were a good kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. At what point?
What age are we talking?
In general, I guess.
Like junior high school? Great. High school and beyond. Junior high, a little bit of a
law of averages from 1 to 18.
No, I was
good kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
definitely.
tracks. When did you have the hair that you have now? When did the hair develop?
Well, my dad really liked the flat top when I was younger, so we had a lot of flat top early. So you can't really let this happen.
That's right.
I think college I grew it out like long and I had a headband when I played. And I think post that is when I kind of let. Yeah. Oh, there are pictures.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Review the weekend for us. Review the week.
Okay. Northwestern.
Yeah.
Home.
Start there. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good environment.
Fine environment. We were not very good, I thought. And they served us tough. Good for them. And we won in 4, but it wasn't our best. We had nice moments, but not very good overall. And then went to SC, and we were playing fantastic the first 2 sets. And I mean, we played well throughout, but won the first 2 convincingly. And then I thought they came out in the 3rd set, and I thought they really upped their game. And again, we've talked about this. Something we have to get better at, and we're running out of time, is when teams come out and they punch, they fight back.
that we actually want to get in that fight. We want to enjoy that competition. And so far, I just really think we just back off, when teams play well. And so I thought we just backed off a little bit, and that was just enough. And we lost, I think, 3 deuce sets, or maybe one of them was 3 points, but they were really tight.
Set 3, 25-22, and then deuce.
Okay. But I thought they played well, and they're a good team at home, for sure. But I thought we just didn't execute at the level. I thought our serving was, I thought, very good the first 2 sets, and I thought we just got really on body where they were controlling the ball, and they have a great setter, and they run a really fast offense. So all of a sudden she was able to do what she wanted to do because we just didn't serve as tough, and I thought she was up at the net, and it's kind of where she's really special, and it just made for a much harder match after that point. So, and then once the momentum gets going, you all of a sudden you start doubting yourself, etc. And credit to us, I thought we came back in the 4th and really started to play much better, but then they had really elevated their game, and I thought that was probably for the fans was a really fun match from there on out. And then we had chances down the stretch where we missed 4 straight serves in a row and netted, and that was 5 straight unforced errors. We kept siding out, good for us to keep coming back, but just couldn't overcome that at the end. So it felt similar to like Washington when we had opportunities there at their place when we lost in 5 close. Same idea, like you had opportunities and you just didn't execute. You know? But overall, we scored more points. Our sport's great. We scored more points than them, and we really outdid them in every statistical category, I think, except for aces. And but it wasn't enough.
Well, and I was going to ask you too about that 5th. I mean, you have that. That's where it's such a mental game. I feel like sometimes too, right? Like
I think it's emotional.
Really?
And again, we've talked about this. I feel like a lot, and we talk about it a lot with the group. Like we have to become emotionally less bothered by things. We just have to.
How do you do that though? Like that's so hard to do.
Yeah, I do think we've gotten a lot better at it.
Really?
Yeah, because I thought we responded quicker in that SC match. And the problem is that when you are so generous to a team, they start believing that they're capable, and then you're dealing with a totally different opponent.
Yeah.
And that's just you just can't let teams do that, especially good teams, right? And that was a good team, and we did the same thing with Northwestern for 2 whole sets. I feel like we just really were very generous, gave points away, and just weren't very aggressive, and it allows them to get in the game, and then they're starting to believe, and then they start making plays.
And I'd imagine being on the road too hurts that, right? I mean, you talked about the similarities between Washington and USC. Does that impact it?
I'm not. I over the last few years, I feel like on the road we actually kind of hold it a little better because everybody's against you. You know,
you use that
like Minnesota.
Right.
I mean, I thought we were very competitive. I thought at Wisconsin we were very competitive. Which you're gonna be on the road at some point in the playoffs if you're lucky enough. So you need to be able to do that in a hostile environment. But I don't know. I'm not sure there's like a button with us of what does it, but it's for sure frustrating for this coach, but we just keep talking about it, trying to give examples. Here's how we can combat that. I wake up in the middle of the night and think of something that will make no sense, but I'm trying, to get a point across. And they really, they are aware and they are working really hard at it. It's just that competitive grit. You know what I mean? Like that's a hard characteristic to train.
No doubt. Too, I'm kind of curious, like in your sport, it is a little unique with the amount of stoppages that there are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but it's so fast from a coaching perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like I imagine it's difficult for you to go behind the clipboard and, say, hey, sort of
that's why I have that little sheet in my hand so I can try to do that. But no, there was those sets at SC, I wish I had like 5 timeouts.
Right.
Because I had to use too early just because I thought we just weren't competing hard enough.
Yeah, you needed to,
And then I really wanted to make, I would have liked more. I probably could use my challenges more just to get some breaks. But, I thought it just took us, it takes us a long time to like turn our bus around when things start going in the wrong direction.
Well, that's where I was curious too, like how much of it is, you have an experienced team, I guess, for the most part, I suppose.
I don't know. We're weird. We're a weird roster because we have
spread out.
We have older players, but they're not necessarily experienced at high level.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then we have the younger ones that are kind of getting their feet wet
in pivotal spots too in the
Yeah.
rotation.
Yeah. But I like all that. To me, that's why this year's been so fun because you see so much growth.
Sure.
And it's like they're really going through things for the first time, and that's fun to be a part of with them and help them work their way through it. And again, I really have seen so much growth from them that's been I know they're excited. They notice it, and all that's good. It's just when you're talking about, we're trying to be like a top level team. Like, you just can't go through those lulls emotionally because they just snowballed a 4-point run, and it's like now you have to overcome a 4-point run against a team that's playing well and feeling good. It's like that's a really big challenge. So you want to get to the point where you can just keep plotting forward.
And that's tough because I imagine, I guess, similar point with like you don't have a lot of those coaching pauses. The floor leadership, and it's so fast with how you have to recover. I mean, I feel like in your sport more than so many others, you do have to move on very quickly, right? Like that's tough.
You do. I mean, again, every play we have is resulting in a point.
Right.
Right. Again, football could go 0-0 till the end. I mean, you could play for forever. So I mean, all these sports where it's like basketball, you could have a no whistle for 5 minutes, and no points are scored. It's like for us, it's always terminal.
Yeah, interesting.
So you have to understand that if you make an error and you just cost your team a point, let's move on because the next one, you just don't want those things to mount up. And
that's interesting.
And emotionally, it's tough. It screws with you.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, and as a coach, it's like you just want to help them, right?
Yes,
like,
I do.
Try to pull them through it to an extent.
Yeah.
Right? Now, tactically, though, you have faced adversity. We know it in the last few weeks with your rotation. You feel like settling in? Is that getting any better? Okay.
I mean, they're doing great. I feel like, definitely some changes, but I mean, they know how to play.
Yeah.
So you got to go execute. But yeah, I think Izzy has filled in, in Daly's spot, and I think she's done a great job. Really proud of her. I think she's passed well, played some good defense. Done a fine job serving. So I think she's done well in that. And we just with Sophie getting hurt, we just don't have a lot of. There's not a lot of changes to be able to make. So again, we have the lineup we have, and again they're battling and they're doing the best they can, and again we just need to make a few more plays.
Injuries suck, right?
They suck. Yeah.
Now though that you have had, because a couple weeks ago we were talking about how you didn't have time to really practice with rotation. Now you have. Do you feel like that's helped you maybe and can help you moving forward? You have a little more of an idea, more solidification.
Yeah, I think we know who we are, but again now we have to be more aggressive in it.
Yeah.
Again, I just feel like, we get really cautious. I think, Chris gets cautious running the offense. We get a little too safe. I'd like to see us push a little bit more tempo. I'd like to see us push a little bit more middle. I'd like to see her be more aggressive up at the net. But again, part of that is emotionally, are you in a good spot where you can take some risks, dare yourself, challenge yourself. And again, we hit well. Our pins all hit well. And, that's generally enough to win. But it's not good enough for where we want to go.
Matt Ulmer, Oregon Volleyball head coach, 11-5 in conference, 19-6 overall, and now a road trip to the state of Michigan. What's the report on first the Spartans and then the Wolverines?
I think the weather's okay right now, so that's good.
That's good.
Yeah. They're both dealing with injuries this year, similar to us. But Michigan State's gone to a 6-2, and I think that's been a nice change for them, or, that finding what they're doing. I think it's been good for them. The block is becoming more formidable because they never have kind of that weak block up there. A lot of offensive options, and they have one of the best liberos in the country, who really just runs the show for them. So, and especially at their place, it's going to be a tough match. And then Michigan, their best outside has been out, but, if she comes back, they're running a really fast offense. Their right side has the best jump serve I've seen, and I don't even know how she hits.
Really?
It's hard. It's a fastball with a lot of movement and consistent. She's really good, and they've had a nice season. So I think it'll be. It's what the conference is. You're going up, and you're always playing good teams. And again, for us, we really need to keep playing good opponents right now, just so we can continue to grow. And even losing to SC, there's so much to learn there. If we will, that will help us, in the tournament. So, I just hope we continue to learn these lessons.
That's Matt Ulmer. He's the Oregon Volleyball head coach. They're getting ready to travel to Michigan. Got 2 on the road here as Big Ten Conference play continues. When we come back on Duck Insider, the schedule for the week, some critical basketball games. Stick around on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you. On the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by your local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I look through his eyes. I can envision the whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Final segment of Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial Studio. Thanks again to Saul Galvan. We're going to get to know our other OSN broadcast intern extraordinaire, Austin Oda, coming up later this week. You'll hear their voices along with a lot of others from KWVA on the call for our various Big Ten Plus streams that originate from the University of Oregon. They've done a tremendous job. Looking forward to hearing more of their voices moving forward. The word is official. Ducks are going to the Big Ten championship game. Comprehensive review of all the tiebreaker scenarios done by the conference. I know they said over the weekend, didn't announce that the Ducks had clinched, and now reviewing everything, looks like the Ducks have officially clinched. Love to see it. Oregon heading to Indianapolis. The Ducks are for sure playing for the Big Ten championship. Against who? We don't know yet. But there's all kinds of scenarios that'll take shape over the next couple weeks, and we'll see what happens. Oregon also will play Washington. We don't know a kickoff time yet, coming up the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And then the following Saturday, the Ducks are for sure playing in that Big Ten title game. Bryce Betcher, a Burlsworth Trophy finalist, women's basketball with a win last night, and women's basketball preparing for Auburn at 6 o'clock tomorrow. 5:30 pregame with Chris Clayton and Bev Smith. Oregon volleyball on the road Thursday and Saturday in the state of Michigan. Oregon men's basketball in Corvallis at 7 o'clock on Thursday. It's a good time to be a Duck. See you tomorrow.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning sign?